Hello and welcome to Delacroix Horse 2 video. So to finish up this horse, we are going to do the front of the horse. We are going to do 3 boxes and we're going to look at where the pieces of the horse are in relationship to the original box, and then we're going to transfer it. We're going to draw them the same size as how it's depicted here. And yeah, the point is that we measure and get used to visually determining where the difference is between the edge of the paper and then whatever lines we're trying to copy. So I'm actually going to start with my H. We'll see how this goes. I want to kind of lay this out. Now, Delacroix is doing this spontaneously. He's drawing himself what he sees from observation. We are copying Delacroix. So we're doing actually a different type of drawing activity than Delacroix is doing. And so that's helpful to keep in mind, because even though we're going to copy all these lines, we have to get a layout that's accurate. Delacroix had a blank piece of paper when he was drawing. Okay, so let's choose the simplest area that we can build off of, and I would say that's this corner. You might feel differently, so you could do whatever you think would be best, but here's my intersection point, okay? And then this broadest part kind of ends here. I'm going to try to copy that contour, and then I'm going to think about where does this piece of the horse end. Okay, that's almost in the center. Okay, and then this is pretty close to the center. Let's say up to and to the right. And so I can copy this line. I want it to curve just as I see here. Okay, now he doesn't finish the horse. He just implies this other leg here. And you can stop and measure at this point if that's helpful. You can think about, okay, how far is this going in? How far is this going in? I might have judged that wrong. Okay, so I'm sketching this in right now just to kind of get the layout. And I'm observing the lines that are here, but I'm not worried too much about copying the exact lines yet. Okay, so then I've got a place over here. And as I go through and make multiple marks, I can compare them against each other, because as this one starts to intersect with some other things I have drawn, it's going to help me see, oh yeah, I have that right, or oh, I need to adjust. Okay, so the more marks you have on the paper, they act like measuring marks against every other thing. So I'm copying this because I'm looking at it with my eyes, and I'm internalizing it, and then I'm transferring it through my pencil to the piece of paper. Okay, so I'm pushing this down here. I'm looking at where is this in relationship to with this? Where's the end of this line in relationship with the knee over here? I think I have the knee wrong. Look, so now I've got intersection points that I don't like the relationship of. Okay, maybe I need to remeasure that mark. Maybe it's over a little bit further. Since I have this mark to measure against, transferred to my paper, hopefully accurately, I can now compare this to something else instead of before where I was just out in space. Okay, I'm going to completely erase this so I don't confuse myself. I don't want to like go in a track and keep making the same wrong line over and over again. All right, this bulges out a little bit. Maybe I need this line that connects these two together. Okay, so as you're watching me do this, I want you to look at your paper, because you might do this better than me or notice a mistake that you can correct on your paper. Okay, so I've got these lines in here. Okay, now I've got this broad shadow across the breast of the horse. and I want to measure about how far that's going in. It comes over, a little bit of a hook shape down here. Okay, and then I've got, this comes down a little bit more. Okay, so I'm gonna leave this alone because I want to go back now when I've got all of this laid in and I want to actually copy the marks. But right now I'm still working with construction lines, even though I've got a lot of them here. Okay, I'm looking at this over here, trying to copy it. I didn't quite have that right. And then this one stems up. Now this looks like a stray mark. This looks like he started this like kind of shoulder intersection here and then maybe changed his mind about what it actually looked like. And this is an example of when I tell you guys, do not erase every tiny little mistake or every stray line, just redraw it. I actually think, you see how this one imitates this one? I think these are the same line of the same part of the horse, but he just repositioned it because he decided that it needed to be a little bit lower. But do you see how it blends in and creates this like sort of rhythmic echo as a part of the drawing? That's fantastic. And we would not have noticed that if we hadn't tried to copy it. And maybe I'm wrong. I could, you know, just be imagining that. But okay, I've got a structure here and I've got a line that comes down here, and then I'm gonna do this curve. Okay, it's gonna come up down at its lowest point, almost right in the center here. I don't want to hit this line. There's a blank space in between where this line ends and then where the actual horse muscle is depicted here. So, okay, and then I want to look at these relationships. I'm not sure I have this totally right. Let's see. I think this comes over a little farther. Okay, I'm happy with that. Now, I'm going to go to a darker pencil. I'm going to choose a B. We're going to see how that goes. And I want to copy these lines. And I'm going to try to copy the spontaneity here that Delacroix has. This line. Okay, and then I've got 1, 2, 3 lines here. And then again, last time we talked about Delacroix making these repetitive marks kind of in groups of 3s. You got 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we've got like this one, 1, 2, 3. I'm not going to count on him to make 3 lines, but it's helpful to kind of look for that. Okay, and then he's got these beautiful strokes coming down here, kind of in a little bit of a V, and goes around, traces this muscle, and then this looks like maybe a shadow. And I have to stop. I can't get confused here because I've got an empty space. Okay, let me go to my 2B. And I'm going to shade here. And his lines are spontaneous. I'm going to see if I can imitate that here. I think he's got his pencil on his side again. I have a hard time doing this just the way he does. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 bumps. Okay. Okay, this line's a little bit darker right here. And then we've got some hatching back and forth. And then long strokes here. These are also either with a dull pencil or he's on his side. And then there's a dark one right here. Okay, not too bad. But again, I'm trying to imitate his spontaneity a little bit. But what we have here is actually called cross contour. So see how these shading marks are curving along with the body of the horse? Now we've talked about contour line, which is essentially what these are. showing the edge of where the horse ends and something else begins. But this cross contour, the direction of these lines actually show the shape of the horse, like the three-dimensional shape of the horse. And he's used these pretty nicely because Delacroix is a genius. And we get to be exposed to that here. This should be light right here. Okay, now I'm going to try to copy these lines. I've got another set of 3. 1, 2, 3. Now I have an imitation of this line that traces this and then comes down and shows the muscles of this horse. Here's another opportunity for me to just double check. Is it right? Is it right? And even though we're drawing a horse, this is essentially composition of abstract lines. I keep struggling with this knee, but it's beautiful. So I'm gonna try again. Okay, I like that better. And then the intersection point here is a little bit dark, and then these are very light. And then I've got a dark line that goes like that. Okay, I think I'm pretty happy with that. There's a little bit of a dark line here, again, where I think he changed his mind about the actual shape of the horse, which is very interesting and also very instructive to us as beginning artists that we don't have to erase everything. It's all going to be fine. Okay, I'm going to go in with a 4B for this, for these darker marks. I'm going to darken these a little bit, because value matters in terms of what's coming forward and what's receding. That's part of the drawing. Okay. All right, that one's okay. So let's move down to this next box. And here we've got some beautiful lines again. All right, let's go back to our H. Let's see if we can make fewer construction lines this time. So here, I'm trying to go straight across here and see what this looks like. I'm gonna try to see where this intersection point is. I'm gonna try to see where this intersection point is. And we can measure these in relationship to each other. So these are almost the same, this one and this one. This one's a little bit lower. So if I go across here, I should intersect this one and be just above this one. I don't think I have it high enough. So let's erase those lines. Okay, so now I know where things are gonna break the picture plane. Down here, I'm gonna go over. Okay, and then I'm gonna try to copy this sweep of a line. If I wanted to, I could put more marks here. I could put a couple more and say, okay, it's gotta come out here. So whatever you feel comfortable with. Okay, this I'm gonna measure the center. Where is it coming in the center? I would say it's about like this. And then we're gonna go up and around. Okay, like this. Great. Okay, so from this point, I'm gonna try to pick the easiest place. I'm always looking for what can I be the most sure about if I'm gonna go forward. I like this line here because it intersects, it kind of divides this section of the horse from this section of the horse, and it lets me think about, it divides the space into smaller areas. So I'm gonna try to copy that undulation, and then I have like a scribble here, so I'm just gonna put a little mark here. And then over here, I wanna see how far from the edge of the page does this scribble mark start. So this is this. So we're repeating part of this horse, and this is this. Okay, I'm gonna switch to, I'm gonna go all the way to a 2B for this. And I'm gonna try to get some of these lines in here. Now I'm starting to copy the individual lines. I wanna get this dark one in here. And then again, he's got 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. And then this line, he's sort of correcting himself, but you see how these corrective marks add texture and motion to the picture, like maybe the horse was moving a little bit. And that's why he kept changing his mind. Or maybe he just saw a different way of seeing the horse, like from moment to moment, and he recorded many of them. Okay, this one's actually a zigzag line. So I'm gonna start down here where I've made the beginning of this mark right here, if you can see that light mark right there. And I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. That might be too wide. And they start to get sharper as we go to the end. And then here's another one. He went, ooh, like that. Okay, I'm gonna come down from here as one stroke, and then I've got a group of 3 again. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this big one is important, right? It's right here at my intersection mark. Okay, and then I've got 6 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I've got 2 that intersect again. Okay, actually, that 6th one goes, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it gets closer to this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And then I've got some marks here that help define this beautiful shoulder of the horse. So the human figure is the most beautiful thing we have generally, is what is accepted by artists, but the horse comes in second. And Delacroix, he traveled in the Middle East, and he was very interested in depicting people from exotic places and the exotic places themselves. Hold on, I need to stop talking for a second. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I have kind of 5 bumps at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And so lots of horses. He would have ridden a bunch of horses to get to the places that he was going. So he had a deep appreciation for a horse beyond just a beautiful thing to draw. Okay, this is dark down here. I don't know if I love my shape. My pencil is not quite the same as his pencil, but I'm still going to copy the lines. And I hope that you're finding, as you're doing this, that you're developing a deep appreciation for the beauty of this drawing. Okay, I'm going to go a little darker. Let's go to a 4B. I'm going to emphasize these a little bit because they're coming forward in this drawing. Okay, here I'm going to turn my pencil on its side because the pencil I was using, the 2B, just wasn't dark enough. Okay, now we're going to do another one of these scribbles. So I got like 2 wide areas. Oh, I need that one too tall. I got a tall one and then a short one, so 1, 2, 3. Okay. Delacroix is better, but there we go. Okay, these kind of connect through these marks. So 1. It needs to be, and I'm letting my pencil get dull because I think that's what Delacroix did. He didn't bother to sharpen his pencil. He probably would have had to do it with a knife. Okay. I don't want to overwork this. There we go. Okay, we've got one more. And I'm going to go back to, I'll go back to my H just to lay everything out. So this is the face of the horse. This is a little bit important. I got fuzz on my table. Okay, we're going to go down to the intersection point here. I've got an intersection point here. Thinking about where are these in relationship with each other. I want this distance to be about the same as this distance. And then I'm going to use those ears as markers. So I think this ear, and I can even look up here at this drawing in relationship to the ear, so I can say, okay, well, if this is accurate, then I go down to the ear from here. Or I can think about this distance, or I can check both. Okay, let's look at where is his snout. And this line actually comes off the page, so that's going to be important. And then where does this end? Some of this is stuff that we may have done in another year. Just thinking about what are the critical intersection points? Where do things come together? Okay. Okay, and then I think I've got the eye way too high. And then I'm going to try to copy this. Goes up and over. Okay, and then where is this part of the neck? I'm going to draw a little bit of this to make sure that I know where I am. This upper eye is distracting me. The one that I made first that I decided was wrong. Okay, yeah, that's okay. And then we'll go back over here to the ears. So wherever it makes sense for you to measure where things are in relationship with each other, I want to think about kind of this arc here. And then I want to think about how long is this distance. I think I might have that too. Okay. Yeah, so his snout's a little skinnier than what I have. And then he's got this ball shape that helps define the horse. Okay, this is going to be very interesting to draw. All right, I'm going to switch to a darker pencil. Okay, let's stick with the 2B because that's what we've been doing. Okay, so I'm looking for a place that can really help me make sure that I've got this right. So I'm gonna do a little bit of his tuft of hair. I think it's coming over too far. I've got something wrong here. Yeah, I've got this over too far. I'm gonna switch back to my H. so if the ear is here instead of over there, okay, see, that solves my problem. I just had this whole horse head over a little too far, and now I've got to pull some of these other things back in order to make room that I need for everything. Okay. Okay, that seems better. I think I can refine this as I get into a darker pencil. Yeah, let's go to the 2B. Okay, if I get these lines in here, he's kind of got a lot of things leading in here. And then this ear, he didn't really pay much attention to, but this one, it's like this simple triangle shape. Okay, and then he kind of scribbled here to make it dark. That must have been important to the composition of the piece, that this be dark. It kind of unifies the face, brings the face out a little bit. Got a line here. Okay, this triangle that he made as kind of a shorthand for the eye is very critical. And then he kind of scribbled in here. And then this line, this is Delacroix right here. This kind of trembling line that he makes. You can see that in his paintings, actually. Something about that. Okay, this line makes the face. Okay, I'm gonna go over that with a 4B. Okay, and then this circle, he kind of went round and round and then scribbled down. And now I notice that there's a hook here in this dark line. Okay, not too bad. Not exactly the same, but we're getting there. Let's see what we can do over here. I've got some dark lines, and again, I have my 4B here in my hand. I'm gonna switch back to a lighter one for a couple of things. We got a line there. And then 1, 2. Okay. This is this line. We've already drawn this. And then this one's coming down. 1. It's only 1, and I did it twice. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm looking at Delacroix as I'm drawing those lines. I'm looking more at his horse than at my horse. Okay. And then I've got a couple lines coming up here. Okay, I'm going to switch back to my 2B. Going across his face. I got too many lines here. Let's try again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Okay. I think we're good here. I got a couple lines in here that kind of make the horse's mouth fully come out, and then this looks like maybe a bridle of some kind. Okay. And then we got this squiggly line that we did in the above one, but that adds a lot of texture to the horse. Okay, I think we're good. I think we're pretty close here. We've tried to observe Delacroix, we've tried to copy his lines as best we can, and we have some horses here, horse pieces that we're gonna be able to put together. So I will see you guys next time.